Hi, it's GA. I want to make a small tutorial involving the street patterns and layout. There is a great variety of street patterns. They vary depending on historical and geographical context. Number of resources available on the topic is considerable. This is a figure from the study that examined the effect of different urban street patterns on vehicle pedestrian crash severity. I would like to use it to convey the idea of which street pattern I'm planning to use in the city. I prefer a mixture of fragmented and warped parallel patterns. Warped one is aesthetically appealing, while fragmented elements help to keep a certain order in the whole picture. As for effectiveness, I'm not observing any evidences of large productivity varieties between the models. There are many city builders that use conventional grid pattern, which can be considered boring. This small tutorial can help newcomers to start building a bit differently. I will build a small district using the part of the map as a sandbox just for educational purposes. Unsurprisingly, we are going to start with building the main road. Then, we can add additional road to create an angle. Creating angles are important because we can use this angle to add variety by connecting aligned blocks. We are going to talk and apply road hierarchy principles a little bit later. Current task is create the streets. There is no distinct angle, value or curve form that I can recommend. Experiments are needed until connections become visually satisfying. It's always a good idea to align the rows with geographical objects such as hills. This adds another source of variety, putting less strain on improvisational abilities of an individual. We can enable terrain map display using toggle it mode. The most basic way to create a curve segment, we need to use curve or free road tool. Combine the corresponding buttons to a hotkey. It can be feasible to use freeform road tool to find some strange angle and then get back to straight form to prolong the direction. And then we can build on that basis. Some angles like this one can be annoying, but they can be dealt with. You can always use Road Multi-Tool mod and move it with snapping enabled to get things right. Applying geometrical shapes can be crucial to reach proper looks. Notice this half circle. Consider it as a resource that was able to provide so many new nodes to work with. Now we can extend roads in all directions to create more blocks. To add proper rounded dead ends to the roads, I recommend adding an additional node near the end node using Network Multi-Tool mod. Then setting the end node stretch value to 140 or so using Node Controller mod. We are going to build a primitive exit ramps from this highway to our road because we can and because we need to provide connectivity to the district. There are two ways to make an overpass. We can manually lift up the nodes using moveit-mod, but this method may be prone to inaccuracies. Another way is to build another road with a distinct height and use moveit-mod functionality called align to object height. Then we just smooth out the segments using set slope mode from network multitool mod. Highways in general and ramps can be as beneficial as terrain elements because they provide forms to work with. We can create an aligned road and use its nodes as a new points of growth for our layout tree. Minor streets can be used to further customize the buffer zones where the high through output is not expected. Now we can start applying some logical structure to our road layout. There is the main 6-lane road, which will play a key role in this district, and there are secondary 4-lane roads that will further distribute the traffic. Note that applying road hierarchy principles is not just upgrading some roads to the versions with larger capacity. Connections should be revised as well. The main road can't have tons of minor roads connected to it because the cars are moving at high speeds and this will create obstruction of the flow. That's why we need to disconnect some minor roads. The trick here is just to terminate the connection. We can restrict any transport movement on this segment using Traffic Manager mod, but people still need to be able to use minor road for internal purposes. That's why we disconnect it, but keep it closed so pedestrians can make a crossing. We can hide the road underneath using moveit-mod elevation functionality. Next step would be setting up some simple public transportation. First is inter-district line, allowing people movement between the districts. Train transport can be used for this purpose, allowing high speeds and passenger high capacity. Second transportation aspect is the internal line, allowing people movement inside the current district. Buses can be used for these purposes, although roads need to be prepared for this kind of transport. Buses are notorious for putting a strain on the roads without proper infrastructure in place, especially when used in high numbers. The last aspect is outside connections. We may extend train connection to the city border, or we can build an intercity bus station. The idea here is that the people from the outside will come into the district, use the bus lane to get to the train station, and then access any district in the city. I hope the provided information was useful, especially for the newer players. Good luck with your cities, guys.